Right, shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Waharakah Kwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I honor to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and the truth. Now, this says a gay couple who showed off picture-perfect family get 100 years in prison for horrific rape of their adopted sons. So, there's this thing where they started peddling these children who don't have parents or whatever situation may be to these gays and lesbians, because we all know that these people cannot come together and have seed of their own. And wow, this is crazy. It says they bought young boys to rent out to their friends. So they were they adopted these boys and then rented them out to their friends. And it's almost like maybe someone who is perverse in nature has no limits, right? It's like you don't even understand that as a man, your sexual you're supposed to, but well, put it this way, you're supposed to be dealing with women, and you're so confused and messed up that you're dealing with men. Then why would you think that they wouldn't deal with boys? If your judgment is perverted, who's to say how far that perversion goes? You know what I mean? You're already perverted. It says adoptive gay couple charges sodomizing their adopted sons, also pimped them out to local men and sent out videos of them raping the boys. All right, so these men were part of some low-level ring, because if they were high level, you wouldn't be hearing about this. If they were high level, you wouldn't hear about it. These men are low level. It's disgusting. And this situation it's not a isolated incident. This happens all the time. Oh man, it's just the tip of the iceberg, really. And the thing about these boys is that these boys now are perverted. They're gonna grow up and either be gay or transgender or some form of perversion because of what these men have done to them. They're destroyed. This is 2 Peter 2:6. It says, "And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an ensample unto those that after should live ungodly, and delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked." You see, this whole legalization and normalization of LGBT started, with Alfred Kinsey. He's the father of the sexual revolution, right? And over the years, they've managed to add more letters to the normality. But the father of um, this whole movement, this modern day movement to normalize and promote this stuff, he was experimenting on babies. So he was a pedophile. And he was also a high level Freemason, as usual, because all these things are rooted ultimately in witchcraft. sex magic, sadism, and so it was inevitable that eventually um, the pederasty is gonna come to the forefront, and it is gonna be normalized. It's a natural progression of this particular movement, and that's why we're vexed every day, man. Because this stuff is disgusting. It's unnatural. It's filthy. It's against the righteous will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It used to be buggery used to be at the very least illegal, right? Now I'm not telling anyone to go put anyone to death, because we're not in that time. But at the very least, the LGBT movement should be illegal, just like uh, um, selling crack is illegal, just like incest is illegal. All right, which is there's an interesting thing when it comes to incest, that I was reading, where incest only really applies to um a man and a woman, like in the way of they don't count incest if it's somebody's like grandmother with the grandson, because they say that because she can't get pregnant, there's no harm to be made in terms of the production of a child, which is madness. At the end of the day, you got to go according to the laws of the scriptures, and wrong are wrong, all right? But here we have in Leviticus 20 and 13, he says, if a man also lie with mankind, as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. All right, so straight off the bat, it's an abomination. Right now, according to the law of the Bible, the judgment is that they should surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Now, you might argue, oh, well, we're not in that time where at the very least, then they should be in jail. Just like you put the murderers in jail, these people should be in jail. It should be illegal. And at one time, it was illegal. And that's why they had to, it was on the underground. That's why they had to be in the closet. Because uh, it's just like it is in certain places in Africa. Certain places in Africa, um, homosexuality is punishable by jail time, but you better pray if you get found out that the police get there in time before the man them go and get the petrol. You pray that the police arrest you before the locals do that jungle justice. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it was, even in the UK, even in Britain, right? It was illegal. And that's why these men used to link up in public toilets and do their things in cubicles and have to hide it because they couldn't be out in the open and in the public like they are now, that it's been legalized. And do you think that Donald Trump is gonna make the LGBTQ whatever illegal? Of course not. He's not gonna make it illegal. That's why this place is gonna receive missiles, man. But this is why ultimately what it comes down to is we need salvation. We need those chariots to turn up, start blazing fire, and the elect to be delivered and to establish a new kingdom, because in this kingdom it's already gone. Like these individuals just walking up and down the street smiling, taking pictures, right? They're teaching your children about these people, these perverse people. They're trying to normalize these people like they're normal in the brain. There's nothing normal about this. There's nothing normal. But they're trying to make it normal. They're trying to put it in the movies more. Like they're just pushing these people and pushing this madness. Like every film now has to have a gay couple in there as a representative, even though realistically these people represent like less than 1% of the population. They're forced into your face. You know what I'm saying? They're being pushed to the forefront because they want more and more people to be like this, ungodly and perverse. You know what I mean? These people, it's a sick, sick, sick people, man. And then, as I always say, they try and use this word love. You know, they try and use this word love as a safety blanket, as a shield to the wickedness that they're doing. But the Bible says love is the keeping of the commandments, and you ain't keeping the commandments, man. This isn't a family. Quite clearly, it wasn't a family. These were just two lustful men lusting after each other who wanted some victims to lust after, man. It's a damn shame. And the worst thing about it is that the majority of the children that are in these type of situations are Israelite children, because our family structures are the worst. So our children are the ones that are usually in within the system and fed to these people, man. They're the ones that are usually in the foster care system, that are being put up for adoption, and then therefore fall prey to the system and the predators that exist in the system. It's mainly our people because of how broken our families are. And the reason our families are broken is partly because of the same people that run and control that system. They set up, they set up our people, and our people act the fool, the men and the women, creating broken homes and broken children, and fatherless and motherless children, man, that are then taken advantage of in some way, shape, or form. All forms of abuse, up and including what they talking about here. Yeah, man, it's disgusting, man. But like I said, man, we just gotta get out of here, man. 2 Peter 3:11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasten. That's why we can't be getting into the spirit of being here forever, man. We got to look forward and haste towards the end of this place, man. Right? Looking forward and hasten unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Because this ain't it, man. In our kingdom, these men wouldn't be living happily ever after together. Period. They wouldn't been able to be married and all this foolishness and adopting sons. And this thing really hit home because recently, the in my particular family, a family member of mine fostered a child, and then it turned out that that child was, of my kin, so to speak, of the my same nationality in the world. And we ended up knowing of the family and so forth, and the mother and the father are on drugs and they got issues. And like I said, it's always our people that end up mash up, and our children end up in the system. And the spirit had it where this particular child ended up with my family member, luckily, for the spirit, like, the Lord had mercy. So the child is actually with their own people, their own people. And then come to find out that obviously the arrangement was a fostering arrangement, that they were trying to get the youth adopted by two Bati boys, man, two so-called West Indian men, because they try and match them sometimes. Two West Indian men, who were gay. They tried to give the youth to them, And then so my family member had to fight in court. She recently won the case to keep him permanently. But they tried. They tried to take the child from a home that had a mother and a father in there and give the child to two batty boys like it was nothing. Yeah, we gotta get out of here, man. Through the spirit of the Lord, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy on that youth, man. But there's a lot of fatherless and even motherless children out here that are falling prey, man, in this man's society. Yeah, we gotta get out of here, man. So if that, I'm gonna say shalom.